Hi, praise God. I hope you're doing well. I thank God. I'm also doing super well. And I thank God for this particular moment in my life, and especially for enabling me to be here once again to speak to you. I want us today to speak about a topic about finding our purpose in life, to realize why we are here. To answer that particular question, why we are here at such a time as now? This is a question that many times that we find ourselves asking ourselves. The world is a difficult place to be in because of the same word purpose. It's not easy. Every day we are faced with new challenges. Or after we achieve one achievement, we find ourselves again wanting to being faced with a new challenge again, which we have to overcome. So ideally, life is a sequence of challenges, and living life is all about winning. It is all about overcoming one challenge after the other. And so to speak, these challenges are not there to destroy us. They are there to keep us on check, to keep us on toes, and to keep us moving. Because we are entirely wired as human beings for those challenges. Without these particular challenges, we tend to relax, we tend to fall back, we tend we tend not to just to be there to exist. The problem with that is while we can still be there, eat and drink, but achieve nothing. But because we are created for a particular purpose, if we don't work towards that particular purpose, then we fail. There's that feeling of hopelessness. There's that feeling of not having not having a life that is fulfilling. Purpose is not a job. Purpose is not what we do daily to achieve or to acquire a means of livelihood. Purpose is what the goal that we are created to attain. It is primarily what we are here for. I would say the primary goal or the primary purpose of this life here is to prepare the soul for eternity. The reason why you were born, the day that you were born, you and I, is actually to live a life that will prepare the soul for the final resting place. After life, after this life here on earth, we die. After death, there comes judgment. After judgment, there comes another life, eternity. So the primary goal of a Christian life in this planet is to prepare the soul for eternity. Anything that you do every single day is to work towards that purpose. It is important to note that in this planet, we are just passers by. We are sojourners. We are just traveling every single day. And if we know it or not, very soon we are no longer here. We pass on and we are ushered into another world. It is very important how we travel, how we pass through this world. That is why we wake up every morning and get prepared to leave for work. And after going to work, we also are anxious at the end of every month to get our salaries or to get our allowances, so that at least we might be able to pay for our bills. But I want you to realize purpose and this the purpose for this life is to prepare the soul for eternity. But I also want you to realize that life is precious in itself. And because life is precious, just like everything else that has value, it has an expiry date. It has a shelf life. And anything that is precious has a shelf life. It is useless past the expiry date. You can only utilize it. It is only purposeful during that period, which it is it is it is still useful before its expiry. However potent, however useful a commodity is, once it has reached its expiry date, it is no longer useful. It becomes useless completely. The only thing you can do is throw it, pick it from the shelf or maybe the cupboard and throw it away. Why? Because it is no longer potent, it is no longer useful. The ingredients have expired. It becomes poison. Everyone, including you and I, are alive because of this purpose. What is required of us every single day is to work towards realization of our purpose. And if there is someone out there who has not realized his purpose yet, it's very, very dangerous, because living a life without purpose, living a life without goals, living a life that is senseless, that has no direction, is very dangerous, because you are utterly misusing that time that you are useful, your shelf life. Everybody is a solution to some problem in his generation. You are here because you are a solution to this generation, to your generation. There is utterly something useful that you can do that can be helpful to this generation. The young people nowadays are taking to internet, TikTok, YouTube. They are making videos. Some are even traveling the world and making their life purposeful. If you cannot probably be useful in a microchip company, if you're not very good, like you cannot become a scientist, if there's something that you can be, there is something that you are made, that you can achieve. There is a strength that you are not utilizing out there, because everybody has something that he can do. I thank God, because when you look at the internet today, you find people who are creating employment for themselves, who are creating sometimes it's not even a means to earn a living, but they want to be of useful to this to their particular generation. They are doing something out there that can make them useful. May it be singing, may it be you're out there maybe making jokes, or maybe you are a stand-up comedian or anything. But whatever that you can do that can touch your generation is your purpose. I want us to check some of the hindrances that hinder us from achieving our purpose. One of them is fear. We really fear to go out there because we don't know what the outcome will be. We fear to venture into the unknown. At times you say you don't know if you don't know how to do this, so you cannot barely start because you don't know what will the outcome will be. Fear is one of the greatest tormentors of purpose. If you can't overcome fear, then it means it will also be impossible for you to realize your purpose. The other thing is procrastination. You keep on postponing. You say it will be tomorrow. There is tomorrow. The next day, the other day. I am not ready. I am waiting for this. Then time flies by, and by the time that you realize you're beyond, you've already reached your expiry date. Procrastination is very dangerous because it has seen many dreams break. If you have something that you think, you have a dream that you want to work on, the right time to start is now, not tomorrow. With whatever little that you have, with what you have, keep on trying, keep on working on it, because practice makes perfect. The many companies that you see, the many brands that you see around, they didn't just happen. They started, some failed, not one times, not two times, some even failed very many other times. But what makes them unique and special is because they refused to give up. They continued working on their dreams because they believed that it is possible. Whatever that you will, whatever that you think and you feel it's achievable, it is doable. The other thing is many people say they don't have the capital that is required to start. But like I said, for you to achieve, you have to start somewhere. You have to start with what you have. You have to start with whatever little. There's something. Go out there. Move out if it's a mobile phone. You can start from anywhere. Make sure you start. The most important bit is once you set off, you are started and you are on. It's only a matter of time and you will find yourself there because the journey of a thousand miles starts with a single step. And unless you step out there and start, you will not reach there unless you walk out and decide that I want to lose the shore. That is when you'll sail to the deep. I also want to give you a short story about the air and the Aina. The air and the Aina were very good friends. They used to live together. They used to be very, very good friends, cook together, do business together. But now, as they continued with their friendship, they decided actually instead even sleeping in different houses that they can move in and live in the same house. So they decided they will be they they will be sharing. Who if you cook today, then if the air cooks today, the Aina would cook the following day. So they decided that they will share their duties to cook. Now this went on well. The air loved beans a lot, so they bought a good stock of beans and kept them in their room. Now, when one day as the hare was cooking, the Aina actually asked the air to go to the river and take a shower. He said, "This food is taking long, and I want to rush very quickly to the river. I take a shower, then I come back for in time for us to have lunch together." The air agreed. The Aina very fast. took soap and brush and went very quickly to the river. On his way to the river, he didn't reach the river. He went somewhere, then rolled in mud and became very muddy. And then he also put some leaves around himself, and he took ashes and also sprinkled some ashes on himself, and then he looked like a creature from another world. Then he came back. When he arrived at the door of the kitchen, he frightened the air. The air, on seeing this strange creature, he ran very fast, crying, and left the beans. Then the hyena took all the beans, ate all of them, and ran away to the river. He took a shower and then came back, just in time to find the air crying and wailing because a strange creature had eaten their beans. So the hyena told him, "It's okay. We will see to it. Leave the creature alone. We will look for food, some other food, maybe tomorrow. Don't worry." The air slept hungry, but the hyena was full. He slept that day. This went on and on. Now the air was growing curious. He was also feeling something is wrong, and he wanted really to discover what was happening because the hyena was growing fat and fat, and he was growing thinner and thinner, and the stock was actually dwindling. He had not had a time to enjoy his beans. Every time that he was cooking, this animal would just appear and eat all the beans and disappear. So luckily, that evening, as the air was explaining to the hyena how bad he was feeling about what was happening, the hyena laughed heartily. Then the air was able to realize a piece of bean skin on in between the teeth of the hyena. The air immediately realized the strange creature was the hyena. But then he could not even speak, so he pretended that he had seen nothing, and they continued on having a good time together. They laughed heartily and shared jokes until the following day. Now, the following day, it was time for the air to cook again. The same story happened during the cooking session. The hyena asked the hare to go to the river and have a shower, and the hare actually allowed the hyena very quickly. Then, as the hyena rushed to the river, the hare also took a sack and some strings and quickly waylaid the hyena on his way to the river. Then he put him inside the sack and tied the hyena well, and then he came back. When he came, no, he waited. Sorry, he waited for the heir to come back, for the hyena to come back. And when the hyena was at the doorstep, he waited for him and trapped him and put him in the sack and tied. Now he tied the heir tied the hyena while he had put on the mud, sprinkled the ashes, and tied the leaves on himself. So he was looking a strange creature. So he put him aside first and ate all the beans. Now, after eating the beans and he had a lot of strength, he took a big stick and descended on the hyena. He beat the hyena. He beat him until the hyena would cry out and say, "Kindly, you'll kill me, my brother." He told him, "No, no, 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 you are a very bad creature. You may eat me. I want to kill you. I'll kill you." He called other animals and they descended on the hyena. They beat him until they broke the hyena's hind legs. Mm, and that's the end of our story. But before I go, I'll want to tell you the moral of this story is the kind of life that we are living. We have friends, business partners, we have friends, we have associates, all sorts of friends. Some are not honest. While we are very honest in our undertakings, then they go behind us and they go and plan how they are going to benefit alone. They don't want to share in us in the business, but they want to benefit. After we work together, they want everything to themselves alone, which is very bad. So God bless you. See you tomorrow.